Good morning, everybody. I wanted to talk to you about the relationship with the narcissist, sociopath, narcopath, any of those types. From when you meet them, typically when you meet them, you are mirroring to them what they like to see, and that's what they look for. They look for adoration, admiration, love, respect. They want you to put them on a high pedestal, and they do the same thing in the very beginning when they meet you, because they love your qualities and you're supposed to save them, so you're idolized. But what tends to happen is they have this, they're corrupt and they have this self-sabotage built into them, so every relationship's going to end. And that's part of the reason why you're idolized, because you can never be perfect. That's what it means. You're going to have to be an idol or perfect or ideal, and you're going to have to be that way. And once you fall off from being perfect, then you have to go. And then so what happens, they idolize you, and then you're mirroring each other good things back to each other. And this is how a narcissist can fall in the trap of dating another narcissist, because the same thing happens with the empath as it does with the narcissist. They kind of, you're both in both party situations, you're going to be mirroring back to each other goodness in the very beginning, because you're good and they got to emulate good, and they're willing to put the work in the beginning because they have double fuel going on as they're triangulating and devaluing somebody. And they're the scapegoat, and now you're the golden child in the relationship. That's how it always is. It is like that for a love partner relationship, and it is like that for the familial relationship. So the narcissist always has a golden child and a scapegoat, whether it's a child or a love partner or love partners. And so when you meet them, they meet you, you're both marrying goodness back to each other, but eventually you get such negative reciprocity, meaning the energy that you put in, you're not getting back, not even close, and you're working harder and harder, and you're running on that hamster wheel, and you're just not getting anything back, any of the rewards for the energy and the fuel you're putting in. You've never worked as hard in your life, and you should be getting some kind of better reciprocity, meaning you should be getting equal back. Then you start to realize over time that you're really, generally speaking, these people are kind of injured, so you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, and you're trying to, at some point, you get to the point where you want to help them, and you see that they're injured, and so you're kind of being nice, generally speaking, your empathic side. But then after a while, they continue to pull you down, because what they have to do naturally is, if they can't build up your level, which they can't because they're always sucking, so they have to pull you down for them to rise up, so you guys can equalize. And I guess so you can commingle, because they're irritated by you, because you're in an elevated vibration than them. And so they want that, but they can't have that unless they steal that, because their vibration is based on like their mindset and their intuition, how it's been corrupted, and the entities they're dealing with, the dark spirits, and their actions. And because of all that, they truly run at a low vibration. There's nothing to break them out of that outside of some sort of multi-modality, maybe, but nobody's proven this. So then basically what happens is they pull you down to that level, but then they end up stepping on top of you and crushing you, and then they will end up leaving you. And if you do have a family with them, all they're going to do is, this parasite, this predator that's inside them is now going to decide to have children. They're going to be, it's like a entrepreneur building a business. That's how that parasite looks at it. Like, you're an entrepreneur, then you open a you open a company, you get it starts to expand. You got to get more employees. That would be the demons. And then then the company has got to franchise out, and they're going to have multiple franchises. Like McDonald's has a bunch of McDonald's subsets. Well, that would be their children. and that's how they expand. And this parasite tends to try to attach to all of them. Now, you can deal with it or not deal with it, but if you don't deal with it as a child, I'm speaking now, if you don't deal with it as that generational curse breaker, then it will deal with you, and that's not good. So anyway, to get back on track, they mirror you get to a point to where you can't handle that negative reciprocity anymore. It's just completely unfair, and you are pulled down to a narc vibration. So you start acting like them because now you're in survival mode like they are. So now you start handing them their junk right back in their lap and mirroring back to them what they truly are, because now you don't have that empathy. You're losing it. You're losing it just temporarily because now you have to survive. It is a survival mechanism, even to come out of your empathy for a time. It's either that's the survival mechanism, and if you think that, oh, well, then that would be the empath getting corrupted. It's not that, it's this. It's you chose to continue to keep going down further and further with an evildoer. Whether, it was most time unbeknownst to you to some degree, or you're caught up in a spell, or you're trying to help them and love them. You don't know exactly what's going on. But at the end of the day, if you didn't want to get pulled down, you would have had better boundaries, and you would have kept your vibration up by walking away early. And so now in the future, that's what you need to do. You're going to read the signs, see the red flags, and you're going to walk away if this happens again or tries to occur again in your life. But before, you kept going in a circle of folly after folly, and then when you'd get rid of one love partner, the enemy would send another one that's a little stronger, more powerful, but also knows everything that you like, because it would be a familiar spirit that's been following your generations. Everybody has familiar spirits that follow them, negative, and they also have guardian angels, right? So, and it's all our choices. But we have to be extra keen, because God really leaves a lot of stuff up to us down here. And you start to realize that, we have to be really on point, spiritually, mentally, and, physically. Because if you're not physically healthy, then you won't be able to be, you'll be tired. And so you'll give up on the spiritual side of things. Anyway, so then you start handing it back to them. Then they devalue you, and they leave you a monkey brain, or they go to another love partner, right? So why do they keep going from love partner to love partner? So that we always talk about the abandonment, right? So they avoid the abandonment issue, and being, they can't handle being abandoned. So they know if they're getting even close to that they're going to just break up with you. So then they will leave you. They'll go to another partner. They will never have an abandonment issue with you or have to deal with the abandonment, because now they're going to be with that love partner. And then when that love partner kind of gets in devalue mode, they're going to go to the next love partner and come back to you. So let's say she has 3 love partners, 1, 2, 3. She's going to revolve around all 3 of you and keep going around and keep coming back to you to revalue. But see, she never ends it. Or if you're a female, he never ends it. They have abandonment issues, so they keep going in a circle to nowhere. But what's good for them is that they never have to deal with the abandonment of you or the other 2 partners. They just continue this partial relationship until it can't go any further. And at the same time, it kind of coincides with the fuel level. So as they drain you down to nothing, you start getting into that narc vibration. You start handing themselves back to them, mirroring back to them who they truly are again. Then they're going to leave again, and then they're going to revolve back around when your energy is on point. You see, so that's where how the cycle, it runs on fuel and to avoid the abandonment. And so then when they do leave you, to avoid the abandonment, partially built into this is that they have to devalue you and then discard you and leave you at the bottom, like your head in the sand. They want you really depressed. They'll break you down and start telling you all of your good things, all of your good qualities and values. They're going to start talking to you about how you're crappy, and those values, you're not representing them right, or you think you're all high and mighty or whatever. So they break you down in all of your good values so that they could bring your self-esteem down. They triangulate you with their exes, or their futures or their people that they work with, whether they're dating them, wanting to date them, or anything. They could just be, the opposite sex, and they could just be alluding to that. So then they do that because they want to put themselves onto you. So they're going to start to continue to project you onto them, or them onto you, their personality, their mannerisms, their fuel. So they're going to get you very much reactionary at that time. They're going to be really, when they're with you, they're going to be really viewing you from another lens, so that they can really start to really copy you. Because now when they leave this relationship and discard you, they got to walk out of there, and they got to act like you. They got to act exactly like you, as far as when they're not in your presence after they discard you, because they want to wear your fuel. And their plan is to continue to project their negativity onto you, and get you to believe that you are the abuser and you are them. So that when the final discard happens, they continue to get you to react. They switch that energy day after day after day. They're watching you, mirroring you, or projecting onto you and stealing your fuel. And they're starting to learn to walk like you, act like you, do what you do, and wear your traits. So at that same time, you'll start feeling, if you ever feel like the narcissist, if you ever question, oh, why do I feel like the narcissist? It's always at the end of the relationship during the discard. Why? Because they have planned to continue to project onto you at this point, because now they know they're leaving, and they got to be gassed up and fueled up with your fuel. So they got to take every ounce they can. They want their tank on full. They want it to be able to go 454 miles, as I think my car can hold on full. They want that premium, that 101, the ultra premium high value fuel when they walk away, so that they have a long time to go and work on new supply or past supply that they have devalued and destroyed in the past, that they may have to work extra hard to get back. But they need somebody, and they probably have a couple of people anyway, they always do, but they want to ensure to themselves that they can be successful, and that everybody out there, including their flying monkeys, their family, their friends, co-workers, anybody that knows them, knows you, people at your church, whatever, they're going to look at it like they have to be convinced that you're the abuser, that you're the bad one, and they're the good one. And they tried to help you, assist you, work with you, but they, out of all of their assistance, help, and and all their trying to help you, it just wasn't working. So she had to leave you. And for a woman, it would be like, he had to leave you. But they really were trying. And they'll tell people the whole time, they'll be smearing you in the background, even before this, that when they get with, couples and friends and stuff, they'll be like, they got anger issues, but we're trying to work with it. I'm trying to work with them. I love them and care for them. So I'm just trying to see them through, trying to help them, trying to assist them, tell them to go to therapy. This is how they'll tell their friends. So it's not like they're completely devaluing and discarding, this is during the relationship, because they're setting this blueprint out, because they know that they're going to, discard you at some point, and they can't be the villain. They got to be the victim, and they got to have they are only loyal to the mask. And so it's kind of weird. It's like, where does all this fuel go? They're always drawing fuel off. Well, it do go to the mask, but like I said, I feel like that they're on this vibration, this low level narc vibration, and it's hooked up to a Wi-Fi. Once they get onto a certain vibration, I'm not talking about, we can get on that vibration temporarily if we get pulled down, but our spirit can regenerate. Theirs cannot, because they came into covenant with these things. So they have these things indwelling into them. So their level is always down. And if they do get a higher vibration, it's only to wear it here. It's not to wear it here. That's deep, y'all. They're not wearing it here. They're not wearing it here. They're just wearing it out here. Okay, so they're faking and lying with other people's fuel. They're always thieves, even when it comes to fuel, even when it comes to the reaping with their sowing. They're stealing your reaping. But it's like they're hooked up to a Wi-Fi. I'll do double horns because that's really what it's like. So this is their Wi-Fi antenna, and they're like this, right? And it's like that fuel goes to like this mainframe, some of it. And it goes to, I don't know, it's like, does it go to this big mainframe that's pumping this fuel to these entities or something? I don't know. But fuel, they fuel is being drawn off and added to all the time anywhere you go. That's why you gotta, I shut the TV off, because if you think about it, the TV is always negative these days. And if you're believing it and believing what it's saying and telling you, it'll pull your vibration down, meaning it will suck fuel from you just by watching it. And that fuel gets funneled to something negative, so beware, because most things in this world are running off your negativity or getting you to fear. And what's interesting is, even when you get into people that chase cryptids and stuff, they'll tell you that that's a spiritual, that they may do things in the physical realm, when they've met these wolf, dogmen, Bigfoots and stuff. But they say anytime you go out into the wilderness by yourself, you're actually in the spirit realm. And that's why, like, maybe Christ went to the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, because that's where you get dealt with the spirit realm all by yourself. And sometimes when they see these like wolfmen, dogmen, Bigfoots and stuff like that, that they're kind of like the spirit realm manifesting in the physical. And so they could be just demonic creatures and demonic entities and negative energy. And even if it's like, they talk about how they can't really do anything in the physical realm if you see them, but if they get you into a state of fear. But if you see them in the wilderness and you cast them down with the name of Christ, name of Jesus, and then you also don't let your vibration get pulled down, that you don't walk with that fear, they cannot touch you. And you'll find that a lot of these cryptid stories, that people that don't even know, they will say they never even get injured. There's very few times where that like a wolf man or something would injure a human. I mean, there has been times, but it probably because they got pulled down so far that they got into that, anxiety and fear level so bad that that thing could enter in the physical, like it can affect them in the physical realm. Anyway, that's just a bunch of stuff. And so they got to walk away and act like you. And then when you raise back up, they can't do it forever though. They burn your fuel off just like you burn theirs off. And then they'll actually look like that crooked clown later on down the road anyway. And people will see through it. People know what the narcissist is. Eventually, people have spent a year or more being their friend. They know. In fact, they even lose, their flying monkey stuff. They'll turn on them as well. Anyway, peace out. Love y'all. Give me a like, subscription, thumbs up. Till next time, follow me on TikTok and on YouTube, y'all. Peace be out. Love y'all.